Hi guys, so I just woke up and I was watching some of my favorite YouTube channels, and there was this one story about Prince William and an article that recently appeared in Radar Online. So I wrote an article about that on my Substack, which you should definitely check out. If you look in the post section of this YouTube channel, you will see that I have a short blurb about this and a link to my Substack. So I'm inviting everybody to start to come over to my Substack, subscribing to my Substack, and reading the articles over there. I'll put just the blurbs on YouTube and put them over on Substack because I think Substack is more sort of adopted to articles than YouTube. So it just looks better. And for an author, a writer, you want your work to look as good as it can. So I'm going to start to put them over on Substack. And also on Substack, you can, you know, subscribe for free. But if you want to support my journalism, I hope there is at least one person in the world who would. You could also get a paying subscription over on Substack, which does support me and the channel. So that would be nice as well. But again, you can subscribe for free, okay? And you are appreciated just for subscribing. All right. So anyway, the in the article I talk about this whole double standard, William's raunchy habit, and how there's this double standard in the press because apparently according to Radar Online, Prince William has a history of this going back to his college days in Scotland, and he was allegedly into watching these raunchy films, and apparently he still has this habit. And in recent years, people have been accusing him of being into something called pegging, which is a story I never really got into, but I did look that up for the first time today, and I was like, oh wow. So apparently Kate is very humiliated about this, but there's a lack of sort of mainstream media coverage, especially from the UK, about this. And so I thought to myself, wow, this is an interesting reaction by the UK media to this total silence of ignoring something like this. Because if Harry were the one accused of something like this, I don't think there would be this blanket silence. And the UK tabloids and the royal commentators, they haven't, I don't think any of the mainstream, it's like Radar Online, I believe, is an American tabloid. And the contrast with how Harry and Meghan would be treated in a situation like this. I mean, the smallest action from Harry and Meghan sparks outrage and wall to wall coverage. Can you imagine if this were something that, Harry's name had been called in? If he were, addicted to, this kind of content, how would they react? I can't even imagine how they react. Um, when you consider how overblown other things that Harry was accused of, whether it's that thing in Las Vegas or confessions in Spare, or even just holding his wife's hand. I mean, this is like overblown into tabloids. And the story of William's penchants and his predilections and his obsessions with certain activities, whether true or false, I don't know. I'm not saying it's true or false. I don't know. But the notion that it's been out there, and it's been out there for years and years and years since he was in university, and I've heard these rumors for a long time, including the P word. I've never ever done a video on this channel. I've done over 2,000 videos. I've never mentioned this because it's not really a topic that really interests me as a general rule. But at the same time, it just continues to linger. And now they're talking about in Radar how, he has this, addiction for these kinds of material. And I'm like, but how come none of the mainstream media in the UK ever talks about it? And so then there's this whole other aspect of how Kate is humiliated. And I'm just like, is this really true? Is she really humiliated, or is this just a way to soften the story? And if William is engaging in this kind of activity, I mean, are they saying that um, who is he doing this with? Because especially with the pegging situation, I mean, that requires somebody else. I mean, what are we talking about here? Like, how come this has not been in the media? And you know the way that they're trying to portray even Radar, to portray Kate as this sort of long suffering wife on this issue would be so different, from if this were Megan, you know and I'm just like, is Kate really upset about this? Or is this just a way to shift the blame away from William? Because, I mean, why even bring Kate up into this really Radar online, as this long suffering wife of this man with this raunchy habits? Um, why not just, put this on William? I mean, he is the next king of England. He's the one with the habit. Why is this framed even as Kate's humiliation, right? A and B, who is he actually doing this with? Who? I mean, are we? I mean, especially with pegging, you can't do this by yourself. I don't think so. So isn't that the bigger story, right? Or is the bigger issue the media bias and public perception? The clear favoritism towards William and how the press protects him, right? Is a thing, and they protect the heir and sacrifice the spare kind of thing. It just sort of seems to fit into the monarchy's PR machine, you know, and then just blame shift and put it on Kate in terms of A, how is she reacting? How is she feeling? And B, insinuating that she's doing this with William or somebody else is, so that William is cheating. William is cheating on her, so somehow it's her fault. She's boring. I don't know. I mean, it's like taking this off of William, putting it on Kate, but at the same time leaving these lingering questions, right? I mean, it's gossip on the one hand, which is like, ugh, but on the other hand, I think it highlights deeper issues in royal reporting and this double standard, and how this story, if these rumors had been lingering about Harry for all these years, how it would be treated so differently. And I don't know. I mean, what do you think? Do you think William should face the same media scrutiny as Harry would have faced in this kind of situation? I mean, what do you think about, this lingering story, and it doesn't go away, and but they're still trying to protect William. I mean, what does this all even mean? I mean, who is he doing this with? Are we talking about adultery here? Are we saying that he's doing this with Kate? Does it matter? No. I mean, it's not our business. But if this were Harry and Meghan, they would make it our business, and it would be such a double standard, which is what I really don't like. And that's what really, the whole gist of this video is the double standard, the hypocrisy. Anyway, listen, that's all for this one. If you like this, definitely hit the thumbs up, leave a comment, share the video, subscribe, etc.